warmer and you're probably starting to notice more of these outside. That means it's time to start tackling those big outdoor projects. Billy Darian, host of DIY Network's Extra Yardage, is here. He's going to tell us everything we need to know before we actually start to dig in. Welcome.
Hey.
Nice to have
Rhiannon,
you here.
How are you?
I am
Thanks
great.
for having me. Well, look, obviously spring is here. Look at those beautiful flowers.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the edgy, cool tips about doing your backyard. The first three things are prep, okay? Planning. I feel like it's really important to talk to your neighbors.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people go into a project, they don't hit up their neighbors. You plant trees too close to the walls, invasive root species like bamboo, which will take over their yard.
So you really need to ask them before you do a big project.
You need to talk to them, but more importantly, and here's the big tip, field trip to their yard. Go in their yard, look back and see what they see, right?
Okay.
Because I got to tell you, more people end up in court and litigation over stuff like that.
Yeah, you don't want to block their view or something like
exactly.
that.
Views or, you know, maybe a treehouse that looks into their master bath. That's not cool. Also, books. We got books here. Okay, people go into nurseries, they talk to their nursery guy, the guy who owns the place. Now, that's great, but check this out. Much like your grocer, your butcher, and your sushi chef, they're going to probably try to sell you the stuff that's been there for a while.
Yeah.
Or they're overstocked. Okay, so be a little leery. I'm not saying, I don't want to hurt the industry, so I'm not saying not to listen to them, but go in there knowing what you want and don't let them push you into stuff. Okay, and last but not least, weather. People ignore the weather. And I'm not talking just a couple of days that you're planting. Okay, you don't want to be rained out on the second day of digging, but a week to 10 days out.
Okay.
Why?
Why?
Because plants go into shock.
Okay.
And if you're going to have an ice storm, a windstorm, it's going to be hot. These plants are going to wither up and die, and you're going to be really bummed.
Oh, that would be really,
So check
you
the
do all
weather.
that work and then it's
Right.
ruined.
So that's your prep.
Okay, so moving on to the next tip. If you have kids,
Right.
how do they factor into your plan for your yard?
Well, you don't want anything poisonous.
Right.
That's totally obvious. Nothing that's poisonous. And
Unless you don't like your neighbors.
yeah, exactly. Or your kids.
kidding.
I didn't say that, did I? You know, you got tags on these. Don't buy anything that doesn't have a tag. The tag will tell you if this is a poisonous variety. Don't buy anything poisonous. And look, you don't want to get stung by bees or yellow jackets.
Right.
Don't plant something in the yard that's going to be dangerous like that. Also, think about this. The fauna, which is all the animals, if you're inviting deer to munch on all your stuff and rabbits, in 6 months and you have little bald sticks, you're going to be bummed. So don't plant stuff that is really going to attract them like a buffet.
Yeah, it's really interesting that there are so many things to think about that you wouldn't normally think
It's
about.
not just about what's pretty and
You don't just
appealing
get out
to
there
the
with
eye.
a shovel.
Right. All right, and
digging.
talking about shovels. Okay, listen, digging holes. 75% of the work is in making the holes. People get all these beautiful plants, they stage them around, and they think it's going to be easy to put in. It can take 2 days to dig a hole big enough to put a 24-inch box tree.
Really?
Especially if you have hard ground, you have clay, you have decomposed granite or shale. So go out to an equipment rental place and rent what they call a power auger. It's like a big corkscrew. You ever seen one of those?
I have seen one of those.
And it's got a motor on it. Those will dig those holes lickety-split, make it much easier. Also, if you're going to irrigate and put in pipes, a power trencher. It looks like a big chainsaw. It cuts grooves in the ground. Pipes go in easy, then you're done. And speaking of the dirt, last but not least,
Yeah, the soil.
soil, yeah. Don't assume your ground is going to be good. It's going to be devoid of nutrients most of the time. So you're going to want a good topsoil, a mulch and a compost in the hole. Dig the hole 25 to 30% bigger so you can get a nice fluff in there. And plant foods. And here's the thing about these. People get confused. This is granulated, this is liquid, obviously, right?
Are they both good?
They are, except granulated is a time release, like taking a pain medicine that lasts all day. Okay, so that's for sustained nutrient of a plant, bush, tree, flower. Liquid, you put it in water, it's instant. It's like intensive care for a plant. So if your plants are wilting, they're in shock, go for the liquid,
that one.
use this for sustain.
Great tips. We're out of time.
Oh,
I know.
have fun.
We're going to talk to you a little bit more coming up later in the
Okay,
show.
great.
Though.
Awesome.
Yeah, because we've had fun with you today. So don't miss Billy. He's this fun on his show, if not even more,
Yes.
on Extra Yardage.
This
That is Tuesday. Well, you are outside. That's on the DIY Network. Thank you again.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Next.
Welcome back, everyone. We have Billy Darian, host of the DIY Network's Extra Yardage. He's here, and he's been giving us some tips this morning on things to do to your backyard. And what I love about your tips is that they're a little different than the typical kind of boring ones we hear.
Well, they're the truth. I mean, anybody can dig a hole and put a plant. I want to give it to you straight so you don't make a lot of mistakes, because I want DIYers to get dirty.
Right.
Don't write checks. Do it. My show's about empowerment. It's what it's about.
And I love that you transform something in just 3 days. I mean, granted, you have a little bit of help, but people at home can do things pretty quickly too,
I want
right?
to tell you, we don't have really professional help.
Really?
You know, the little bit of a difference about Extra Yardage is that these are homeowners and their friends, and I'm, again, empowering them,
right,
teaching them, making them feel strong, and, you know, just guiding them through the process. And we only have about 2.5 days, because about a half day is wasted on, like, demolition and cleanup stuff.
Okay, so let's talk about one of the couples you actually redid their backyard. It looked so boring and plain before you guys came. And then after, the transition was amazing. The Tuscany style.
Oh, Tuscan transformation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's Rick and Jean, young couple. They live up in the hills of Los Angeles. And, I mean, it's classy and it is subtle. Here's what they wanted. They didn't want over the top. They don't have kids. They didn't need a playground. They had been to Italy a couple times. They were kind of, you know, low-level wine connoisseurs. No sommeliers, but they really liked Italy. So I said, you know, by the way, we design when I show up. It's not preconceived.
Wow.
So I speak with them, and I got to think on the fly.
And you do all the designing yourself?
I scout, I do the plans, the designing, procurement, materials, the whole thing. It's the real deal. I think that's important because I want to own the project. So the Tuscan transformations, because they loved Italy. So we just had lots of flowing pathways, you know, a nice double or triple tiered Italian fountain, which I thought was important.
Oh, beautiful.
And I think the top-notch thing there was we had 3 giant stumps that we couldn't pull out of the ground. They were huge. They were as big as this studio. We carved little seating benches with chainsaws.
Oh, what a great idea.
We stained them brown, and we put little pillow pads on them, and that was the mind blower in that one.
Is that the trick when you have something in your backyard that you can't just get rid of or that's kind of an eyesore, turning it into something beautiful?
It is. You got to be flexible. I mean, again, we reuse, we repurpose. You got to think on the fly. You got to think out of the box. You got to be creative. I mean, this is about being creative. This isn't surgery. This isn't brain surgery or rocket science. This is planting. It's all about being creative.
So what is the biggest mistake you see when you go to homeowners?
Okay, the biggest mistake, there's a lot of little technical mistakes, but those can be cured with books and asking questions and, you know, going online. The biggest mistake is trying to emulate something you see in a magazine exactly, or having a preconceived notion. To me, planting, bushes, trees, flowers are very personal. They're like jewelry, they're like dresses, they're like your hairstyle. This has to reflect you.
Like accessories.
They're accessories. I mean, are you nutty? Are you crazy? Are you whimsical? Are you very straight and composed or conservative and organized? Your backyard should reflect that. So the technique to overcome that is buy the plants you like, stage them without planting. Don't put them in the ground. Live with them for a day or two. Right?
Good tip. I like that.
Because you can move a couch easily, but you can't move a 35-foot tree that easily. So live with it and say, yeah, just chill back, check it out, and say, I love where everything is, and then put it in the ground. That's the most important.
Has there ever been an instance that was just too much for you? A yard that you just said, this is too much, I can't deal with this? Or can any yard be transformed?
You know, I hate to be immodest, but no. I'll attack anything.
Any yard can be transformed.
And you know what? The thing is, you just got to be free with it. You can change stuff. That's what I'm saying about staging. You know, you can just jump on it, do it, get your hands dirty, be empowered. Just do it.
Okay.
You know? And
just quickly, does your wife help you in your yard or no?
You know what? She doesn't do that help, but she critiques every plant I do, and she has to have the stamp of approval.
Nice. That's what we're there for. Thank you, Billy.
Thank you. It was awesome.
It was so much fun. We'll be right back.
Take a